It's the 6th grade plus R season 2, new year, new kids, same 6H. Now, there's some twists and turns to this, I gotta say. So, if you guys don't know, the teacher basically sat down one day and was like, hey, do you kids wanna like play some plus R, play some Guilty Gear in our like downtime in class? You know, it's a video game. They're hyped to play a video game instead of do schoolwork. There's already been a year of it, right? And the way it worked last time was they started off, they didn't know what they were doing. They slowly started to learn some stuff. The kids made their own tier list. Like, it was pretty interesting. People became more experienced and they learned some gear and they got better over time. And this is now a new year. Brand new students who have not played at all. So the teacher says, summer's over, losers. This means it's time for me to bully helpless children in a difficult fighting game. I have a monthly tournament with my 6th graders in plus R. I showed them what each button does, how to move around, jump, crouch, dash, air dash, and throw. I tell them that specials exist, but to not worry about those for now. That's good advice. Just have some fun. Most of them forgot how to do any of that and just push buttons. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of info at the top. We had 14 in the bracket today. Unfortunately, if you've ever watched a person who has never even touched the genre before, you know what it's going to be like, with one exception. Literally, game 1 was a pot versus Slayer match, and the pot found 6H on accident almost immediately. War never changes. Tier lists and power levels of characters are very dependent on your level of play, right? Characters are much more powerful at different skill levels. Potemkin just mashing 6H is really good if you're brand new to the game. If you don't know how to jump or avoid it or get around it or anything, like, yeah, I mean, this is a top tier move. S+ tier character. We had a Venom versus Zato match. Neither player had ever touched a fighting game before. Yeah, these characters are not great without some kind of an inherent knowledge, right? He's so cool. How can he be so garbage? A child trying to play Zato. You could just put it at the end in like dash Leffen or Ogawa. Just any Zato player's name, and this is correct, right? Some things are universal. All the Zato players talk like this. Maybe you should just label all Zato tweets like this: a child trying to play Zato. We finally got an ABBA player. One of the girls saw her on the character select and said, oh, she's hot. I had to stifle my laughter while I told her to keep it appropriate for school. Unfortunately for all you ABBA enjoyers, her opponent picked Axel and she forgot how to block, so she lost to Axel's 5p. I'm not sure she'll be going back to ABBA. We'll see. Props to the Axel player for being patient and not getting greedy. Just found a thing that worked and refused to go for more damage or anything else because it never stopped working. 2 of the kids had buy rounds. If I had my red pen, I would put an E here. This is BYE. Actually, Mr. Teacher. One of them was Justice Gal's younger sister. So the kid rolls up, grabs a controller, and with zero hesitation moves right over to Faust. Selects him, then looks at me from across the room. If you remember, Justice Girl she was like a professional wrestler. She had the showmanship, you know? The teacher says, from here on out, I'm calling her Mini Faust, and you can't stop me. She was matched with the Venom that had fought Zato. She proceeded to absolutely annihilate him. Then she dunked on one of the boys playing pot and another one of the boys playing pot. Turns out she was practicing with her sister, Zappa and the Robo-Kai player. 2K, 2D, 2S, 5K jump cancel with jump S, but that's a fucking string though, and she actually did a jump cancel. I'm pretty impressed. We got scalpel pulls, item tosses, and the audacity of this child. Round start, first round in our match, she ran forward and whiffed hack and slash. Just scoop him at round start. She still lost because she doesn't have the neutral game, and playing defense as Faust is truly a life of, yeah. You hold down back, the whole world whiffs over your head. I don't think she's aware of the instant air FD trick. That or she just didn't use it in a match because of the pressure. Yeah, it's tough to do. No tier list this month. However, kids like Potemkin's damage as usual. One of the kids said that Faust is a cheating character. This kid is spitting. Zato is garbage, according to that one kid that tried him. Sounds like a Zato player. Axel's 5p is still a funny button. And I guess ABBA appeals to the preteen girl demographic. This year is going to be different. Last year, Zappa kids started on more or less the same footing as everyone else and took an interest in learning as the year progressed. However, Mini Faust is already way ahead of the curve. I'm going to have to really pay attention to make sure this is still fun for the whole class. This is interesting because I'm sure many of you are actually familiar with this kind of experience, yeah? Where somebody in your friend group, maybe it's you or maybe it's someone else, is like way ahead. I'm sure a lot of you have had that experience where you try to get your friends into fighting games and like you win and then they're like, all right, I'm out. Or somebody you know tried to get you in a game, but the only person you know playing it is them and they're so much better than you that you're like, and I'm not even good. Yeah, it's the option select article that someone quoted in the chat or whatever that's like, Local player, too strong for their friends, but too weak for tournaments, or like, you know, compared to tournament players. And it's like, well, it's the struggle. But that's the thing, is you'll get there. It doesn't matter who you are, you'll improve over time. And this is like maybe an excuse for the teacher to get everybody interested in learning the game at a different level. An era where like you have to teach everybody else a little earlier so that they can catch up to this girl. Now shit's gonna get dicey because you have all these kids who are like, wait a minute, how does she know so much? But I'm curious what the teacher will do, right? Because you have to figure out a way to help these kids combat this other kid. The dust loop retrieval art, yeah, how do you do it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's doing Strive because they're running it on like, you know, whatever laptop he has available, and it's cool to watch them play an old game, and I think that's perfect. Plus R is extremely cheap and it'll run on anything. Also, it's an easy game to learn. I think so too. I don't think it's a particularly hard game to learn either. Get in there and mash some buttons. Hit Potemkin 6H.
Listen.
Speaking of which, I saw like Pat tweet, why does every single person playing quick play in plus R right now just play Potemkin? And it cracked me up because like, if you're a pop player, I mean, I would probably play plus R too, right? If I was gonna play any version of the character. You just walk up and overhead people. He's got air, FB buster, like he's got all kinds of nasty shit. His buttons are good, he's fast. Every knockdown is just safe jump. Everybody's scared for their lives, you know?